The episode starts with Indu removes her churni, then takes the god's idol in her hand. She tells that he knows she is doing all this for Zoan's happiness, and she had faced so much to come here, so asked to make this day a happy one for everyone. She then thanks God. Indu receives a call from Magna. She asks her the reason behind calling her. Magna tells Indu that she learned something shocking, so she wants to alert her about the same, so asks her to come to her office because she can't tell this over a phone call. Indu gets shocked and worried. She asks Magna to tell her whatever it is through a phone call only, because she can't able to leave as she get ready as a bride. Even the groom family reach their house. Magna tells her that she learned there is some huge trouble they have to face today. It may change the whole custody case verdict, which she can't tell it over a phone call. That's the reason she is asking her to meet her in her office to discuss about it. Indu gets shocked and suggests Magna that she will send her a car, but the latter refuses, so Indu gives in and tells her she will meet her in her office, then cuts the call. Magna tells Mangesh that Indu get convinced, so she agrees to come to her office, but why he is doing all this because Indu is about to get married and the groom and family reach the venue. Mangesh, who is pointing gun at Magna, shouts at her not to ask him questions. He also asks her to leave the city by packing her things, also not to tell any of this to anyone or else he will kill her younger brother for sure. Magna gets scared, so she leaves the place hurriedly. Vivek comes to Indu's room and sees her worried face, so asks her is she is nervous about this marriage. Indu says no, but there is a problem. Vivek gets confused and looks at her. The guests are happily chatting with one another near the mandip. Both Malhotra's and Raina's looks happy, also busy looking after the wedding. Arrangements are fine or not. Inside Indu's room, Indu pleads with Vivek to manage the situation here until she returns after meeting Magna. Vivek gets shocked and tells her it's not a good idea. He also suggests to meet Magna on his own or else send a car to pick her up. Indu tells Vivek she can't take any risk when it comes to Zoan, so asks him to manage the situation here, and before he could fail to manage, she will return, then leaves the house using the back door. Vivek feels helpless. Indu gets into an auto. Samir calls Kadambari and tells her to get ready to execute the other step of their plan, and smiles. Zoan is with Anjali and Vivan. She tells them the game instructions, which they are going to play, saying they both have to perform the steps of a song, which she asks them to. They both agrees and shows thumbs down to each other. Zoan tells two songs. Both Anjali and Vivan performs it and scores one. Other side, Indu reaches Magna's office and calls out her name. She enters her office room and finds no one is there, so wonders where she went. She then gets shocked seeing Mangesh. Mangesh laughs at her and tells her that he is the one who used Magna to call her here and approaches her. Indu asks Mangesh why he is doing all this and pleads with him to let her go, because today is her wedding. Mangesh laughs at her and makes fun of her plea. Indu pushes him aside and runs out of the room, but Mangesh catches her and chokes her, saying he won't let her live happily after ruining his life, also won't let her marry Ritesh after she ruined his marriage life. In Raina's house, Vivek worries about Indu's safety, also wonders why she didn't return yet. Pandit Ji calls Sunita and asks her to bring Indu. Sunita obliges and asks Asha to bring Indu outside. Asha goes towards Indu's room. Vivek wonders how to stop Asha. He then takes the fuse out from its place, which leads the power to go off. Everyone wonders what happened all of a sudden. Sunita gets upset when the guest complains. She scolds Rajinder, but the latter tells her that he made all the arrangements after taking their society. Electricians help only, and goes to check up the fuse. Vivek stops him and tells him he will check it. Rajinder agrees. Deep informs Rajinder the priest told they can't able to start the marriage ritual until the power comes. Ritesh and Rahul wonders what happened to electricity. All of a sudden, Ritesh searches for Zoan and finds her with Anjali and Vivan, so he gets relieved. Both Asha and Sunita lights up the house with candles. Neelam taunts the Rainas, which upsets Sunita, so she goes to Rajinder and scolds him. Ritesh calms her down. Vivek comes there and informs the fuse is not in its place, so he will go and bring one. Ritesh suggests to bring generator to cover up this, which worries Vivek. Rahul advises Ritesh to find a way to entertain the guests because they all starts complaining. Ritesh agrees and asks Rahul to make arrangements for the generator. In Magna's office, Mangesh laughs and tells Indu that he don't care what happens to Zohan, which angers Indu, so she hits him and tries to escape. But Mangesh stops her and chokes her. Indu struggles to breath and blood comes out from her mouth. The episode starts with Vivaan tells Anjali even in his dreams he knows the dance steps. Just because she is going to lose the game doesn't mean she can cheat on him to win the game. Anjali argues with him. Zohan asks them both to stop arguing, then calls Ritesh and asks to show both Vivaan and Anjali a right dance steps. Ritesh thinks that Rahul asked to distract the guests, so he decides to give a dance performance. He asks Zohan to play a song from her phone, then goes to the stage. Zohan plays the music and Ritesh dances accordingly. He takes Anjali with him to the stage and they both dances and the guest cheers up. All the family members joins on the dance floor and dances to the music played in the background. Rahul receives a call, so he goes outside. Just then the song comes to an end. Vivek gets relieved that everyone is distracted by this dance performance, and he hopes that Indu reaches the venue on time. Rahul informs Vivek that he bought generator, so they don't have to worry about power cut, and urges him to come inside as the wedding rituals are about to start, and goes inside. Vivek worries and wonders why Indu didn't reach the venue yet and how he is going to manage the situation. Kadambari reaches the designation in her car. She comes out of it. A bride who covered her face with the veil enters Indu's room. Outside, Rahul praises Ritesh for agreeing to his request and entertaining the guests. Deep comes there and informs the priest is calling him to start the wedding ritual. Ritesh searches for Zohan, but Deep informs him Zoom is there only, so Ritesh goes to the mandip. The priest starts the mantras. He puts tilak on both Ritesh and Zohan's forehead, then asks Sunita to bring the bride. Sunita asks Asha and Anjali to bring Indu, and they both obliges and goes towards Indu's room. Vivek worries and stops them from entering the room. He insists to bring Indu, but Anjali tells him it's their duty and goes inside the room. Vivek apologizes to Indu for unable to save her and hopes she reached the venue. Vivek enters the room and gets shocked finding a bride there. He gets relieved and goes towards the bride. He expresses his relieved state to find her here in her room and asks her if her work is completed or not. The bride remains silent, which confuses Vivek. Asha and Anjali takes the bride outside. Vivek wonders why Indu is behaving like this though. Ritesh sees the bride and wonders why Indu is covering her face like this. He then thinks that he is happy without seeing her face like this. The bride sits beside Ritesh. Ritesh taunts bride and gets surprised when he didn't get any reply in return like how he used to get. He asks the bride to remain the same after marriage also, so it will be easier for him to tolerate her. Deep dive into your 338,499 Xbox stats. Today, learn more. The priest asks both Ritesh and the bride to exchange the garlands. They both exchanges it. Then, as per the priest's instructions, Ritesh takes Indu's place, and Indu takes Ritesh's place in the mandip. The priest asks who is going to do Gath Bandhan. Dolly suggests Zohan is right person because Ritesh and Indu's marriage is taking place because of her only. Rajinder and Sunita agrees. Rajinder takes Zohan with him and help her tie the Gath Bandhan. Zohan ties the dupatta with bride's dress with a big smile on her face. The priest asks Ritesh and the bride to take Farah's. Ritesh and the bride take Farah's. After the ritual completes, the priest asks Ritesh to fill the bride's hairline with vermilion. Ritesh obliges and takes the veil from the bride's face. Everyone gets shocked finding Indu in an injured state and asks what happened to her. Zohan cries, so Indu asks Asha to take Zohan inside, and the latter takes Zohan inside. Rajinder asks Indu how did she get injured. Dolly asks Indu to tell the truth to everyone, which shocks and confuses everyone. Indu tells Ritesh and everyone that she received a call from Magna, so left the wedding venue after informed Vivek. Everyone looks at Vivek, but the latter tells him that he can't say no to his friend at last minute, so he deliberately cut the power by taking the fuse out, which shocks everyone. Indu tells that it was Mangesh who used Magna to call her and tells how he tried to kill her, but Dolly arrived there on time and saved her from him. Dolly tells the family members she saw Indu leaving the venue, so she followed her and found Mangesh trying to kill Indu, so she beaten up him and saved Indu from him. Rajinder and Sunita express their gratitude to Dolly for saving Indu. Ritesh gets furious at Mangesh and decides not to spare him. He tries to leave, but Indu and everyone stops him. Ritesh wipes Indu's tears and asks her is she okay. Indu nods yes. Precap. Indu performs Vidai and gets emotional with her family members. She then leaves the venue with Ritesh and Zohan. Dolly does arty for Indu and asks her to enter the house after pushing the rice pot with her legs. Indu obliges and pushes the rice pot. Just then someone joins her and performs the ritual with her. Indu gets confused and shocked. The episode starts with Ritesh tells Indu that he will bring first aid kit for her. Zohan arrives there and says she brought it. Ritesh thanks her and aids Indu's wound. Indu writhes in pain. Zohan cries seeing it. Vivek smiles seeing Ritesh's care for Indu. Ritesh band-aids Indu's wound, and Indu looks on. Dolly tells now all the problems are solved, so now it's time for them to be happy, so asks him to fill Indu's hairline with vermilion. Ritesh smiles and fills Indu's hairline. Indu looks at him. The family members gets happy and claps. Ritesh then put a nuptial chain around Indu's neck. The priest announces the marriage is completed. Zohan congratulates both Ritesh and Indu and tells them they become a happy family now and kisses Ritesh and Indu. Both the family members looks happy. Later Dolly congratulates Sunita and Rajinder. Sunita and Rajinder tells they have to prepare for the Vidai ceremony and leaves the place. Dolly and Deep asks Vivaan about Samir's whereabouts. Vivaan tells that he tried calling Samir, but the latter isn't answering. Also, he isn't interested in Ritesh's marriage, so let them ignore him and focus on after marriage ritual of Ritesh and Indu. He further insists to take a family photo and takes Dolly and Deep with him. Indu, Ritesh, and Zohan takes photo together. Also, they takes photos with their family members. Ritesh excuses himself from Indu, Sunita, and Rajinder. Sunita gets emotional and tells Indu that she always wanted her to get married to a beautiful family, and her this wish also God fulfilled. Indu hugs both her parents. Indu performs her Vidai ritual, all the while crying hard. Zohan, Sunita, Asha, and Anjali also cries hard. Rajinder and Vivek also gets emotional. Ritesh and his family watches this. Dolly gets emotional seeing Indu and family, so hugs Deep. Ritesh takes Zohan in his arms. Indu hugs all her family members one by one. Zohan also hugs and kisses everyone. Vivek brings Zohan near the car. Ritesh opens the door for Indu and Zohan. They both gets inside. Ritesh also gets into the car and the car leaves the venue. Rajinder hugs his family members and looks on. In the car, Ritesh realizes Indu is still crying, so he mocks at her. He then asks her is she crying still because she get married to him or leaving her family behind. Indu opens her mouth to tell something, but Ritesh stops her and tells that he knows she is crying for both the reason. He further tells Zohan that his marriage with Indu happened in a filmy style in which the heroine cries for a while. That's why Indu also crying. Indu tries to scold him, but Ritesh stops her and tells Zohan to tell Indu to not to fight with him at least one day. Indu looks away from there. Asha and Anjali goes to Sunita and asks her what is she thinking. Sunita expresses her joy about Indu's marriage that happened as per her wish. Asha hopes both Ritesh and Indu stops arguing with one another. Anjali praises Ritesh the way he cares for Indu and Zohan and says they don't have to worry about anything. Sunita agrees with Anjali and prays God to keep Indu and Zoan's happy, also not to let anyone snatch their happiness. Ritesh. Indu and Zoan reaches the Malhotra's mansion. Dolly welcomes Indu and Zoan. She does arti of all three of them. She then asks Indu to perform Grapravish ritual. Indu obliges and performs the ritual and enters the house, but gets confused seeing someone also perform the ritual with her, so she looks at her side and gets shocked finding Kadambari decked up as a bride. Samir comes and stands beside her, which shocks Indu, Ritesh, and the entire family. Dolly asks Samir what is happening here. Samir tells that he decides to get married on the same day Ritesh is marrying. Dolly tells him that marriage isn't a joke. Samir tells even he isn't joking and says that he and Kadambari get married just like Ritesh and Indu. Ritesh gets angry and asks what kind of nonsense is this and refuses to believe the marriage taken place for real. Samir taunts Ritesh. Deep asks Samir to talk respectfully, but the latter insults him and calls him a puppet of Ritesh. Samir further tells no one have rights to question his decision because they all are puppets of Ritesh, so they won't say anything that Ritesh does. He then tells the family members his marriage with Kadambari is as real as Ritesh and Indu's. Ritesh gets furious and tells Samir that he knows there is a hidden agenda behind this marriage. Samir defends himself, saying even Ritesh is marrying Indu who he not even want to see her face for Zoan's custody to show the court they are married and can give a better life and family to Zoan. Then why can't Kadambari marry him for the same reason? And the only difference here is he loves Kadambari. He further says even he can become a good father for Zoan and tells Ritesh he is fooling. Shown. Ritesh raises his hand on Samir, but Kamna arrives there and stops him. She explains the family members that Pankaj is stable now, so she decides to return and surprise them, but she got surprised. She then takes Samir's side and tells Ritesh if she can accept Indu as her daughter-in-law, then she should accept Kadambari too. She also tells that she knows both Samir and Kadambari is in love also before marriage, so they should accept this marriage. Ritesh gets upset and leaves the place with Zoan. Kamna also leaves the place. Kadambari winks. Indu then goes inside. Indu looks on. Precap. Kadambari tells Indu now they both are equally stable in both financial state, also to provide a family to Zoan. So she is going to see the verdict is going to be on a mother who gave birth to Zoan or the one who snatched Zoan from her biological mother. Indu tells Kadambari she is right, even she is looking forward to see whether the verdict is going to be in favor of the mother who left a child after giving birth, or to the one who taken care of her and pour love at the child like her own. She is going to see a woman's selfish motive or the mother's affection, which one is going to win.